All right. Hey, welcome everybody to today's special episode of the Profit Acceleration Secrets. And today we are conducting a profit acceleration coaching session. I am delighted to welcome my guest, Nivita Marks, to the show. Nivita, how are you doing today?
I'm wonderful. How are you? Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for joining. Thank you for saying yes. Navita, I want to dig into your business and business strategies that we could talk about for everything that you're building. But before we really dive in, I'd love to just take a moment to have you introduce yourself and give us a great overview of your business and the work that you're leading in.
Okay. Well, I'm Nivita Marks. I'm the owner of Sand and Sun Luxury Travel. I launched last year, January the 1st of 2022, right after COVID. I love doing travel. And I've had, a few ventures with MLMs, high price hosting agencies, and everything. So in 2019, I started thinking about, having my own travel agency.
Mhm.
So I start, researching, doing everything that I needed to do. But at the same time, I was in school. I was in college.
Oh, wow.
So I started building my business while working a full-time job and going to school. So the first year was pretty good. I sold close to $50,000 in travel.
Good stuff.
But I will say that it was friends, family. I slowed down the beginning part of this year because I had to graduate. And so I've picked back up. I'm full throttle now because I do have a 5-year plan to leave my full-time job. So now I'm back full throttle, and noticing the mistakes that I made in the beginning, trying to correct those and to get the travel agency down the right path.
All right, fantastic. Well, first, let me congratulate you on the focus to graduate and build a business and work all at the same time. I like calling folks like that hustlepreneurs because you are out there kicking on many cylinders. So congratulations just on that dedication and focus. Um, I'm curious, maybe just based on one of the things you said, Navita, you slowed down after last year, and now you're slowly starting to ramp things back up. Just curious, what are some of the mistakes maybe that you identified already that you were making as you kind of transitioned from school and work and back into the business now?
Well, now that I've gotten all of the friends and family out the way, the ones who you start a new venture, they want to support.
Yeah.
I have to really start targeting the correct audience. So
Yes.
I target through like Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I'm horrible at social media.
All right.
Even in my personal life, I'm not a social media, person. I'm not on social media posting everything. So that's one thing. But from the beginning, I knew I was horrible at social media. So when I first started out, I hired someone to do marketing for me.
Okay.
Was paying him $250 a month. All he wanted to do was write a blog. That blog isn't attracting my clients, but I've learned that I don't have any cohesiveness with my logo, my website. It's just all over the place.
Okay.
So I'm working to correct that right now. I've learned from research. Now that I have more time on my hand, I'm researching, going down these rabbit holes. And I also take a business development cohort with Lyndell Jackson. So I'm learning all of my mistakes, trying to correct those, and put myself out there to attract the clients that
Perfect.
I deserve, that I desire to serve.
All right. And break it down for us a little bit more too. Specifically, what are some of the products and the services that you offer to your customers? What does that start to look like?
Well, I have a, it's a I consider myself as a consultant.
Mhm.
So, say a client contacts me, they want to plan a trip to Italy. I'll do all the research. Now, I do charge a service fee, and my service fee, it depends on the complexity of the trip. So, if you have $100,000 trip, I can charge you up to $5,000 for a service fee.
Mhm.
Because if you can afford $100,000 trip, you can afford that extra 5,000. But I do it all. I book everything. I deal with all the suppliers. I make sure all that my clients' requests are fulfilled
Mhm.
while on travel. So I get to know the client first.
Okay.
We'll start out having a conversation. Let me know what they expect, their likes, their dislikes. I make restaurant reservations. I handle everything.
Okay. Nice.
Only thing they have to do is contact me, give me a budget, tell me where they want to go, some likes. I'll put it together and give them a proposal on what I've put together. If they like it, fine. If they think some things need to be changed up, fine. And unlike a lot of travel consultants, they give the client maybe two turns.
Mhm.
If you don't like this first one, we'll try one more. And I don't want to force my client to have what I pick for them. I want their trip to be catered exactly to what they wanted.
Nice.
Mhm.
Okay. And let me ask you this then. How would you say that your services, the approach you take to business, how is that different from any of your competitors? So if there are other consultants, travel consultants, similar market, what would you say differentiates you from your business from theirs?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Okay.
I know the service that I want to give, but there are a lot of luxury travel advisors, consultants that offer the same. One of my goals for the future, not right now, because I got to get clients first,
Uh-huh.
but if I have a client that lives in Washington, instead of having a face to face Zoom, I would like to fly to Washington
Mm,
and meet with them and have a face to face that way.
gotcha.
It's more personable that way.
Okay. I like that. And I didn't ask, Navita, where are you located?
I'm in Huntsville, Alabama.
Okay, fantastic. Love it. My family and I, we were just there last year with
Okay.
all the space stuff. I had no idea Huntsville was like the mecca of the U.S. for space and aviation.
Well, we're the Rocket City.
Rocket City, that was it. Perfect. Awesome. I wonder if that speaks to your passion for travel. You're like, I'm over here building rockets. Let's go. Um, no, Navita, that is perfect. And thank you again. That's one of my favorite questions to ask business owners. Really, is that differentiation question. So, if you're okay, I'd love to talk a little bit more about that as we dig in. Before we jump all the way into that, though, Navita, the goal for today is really to help you uncover new opportunities for business growth. So, I would love to just ask, if we uncover a couple of strategies today that are going to be beneficial for what you're trying to build, where do you see your business in the next 12 months? What are some goals that you're setting forward on?
In the next 12 months, I would like to have accumulated at least 10 strong clients.
Mm, okay.
And that's the minimum.
All right. And what is a strong client? What does that start?
That's a strong client is a person who would like to travel more than once a year.
Okay.
A person who they're not looking for the all inclusive,
Mm,
because the bigger the ticket price, the more commission I receive.
mhm,
Um, but I'm not going to turn down a client that doesn't have the big ticket price, because one day they may be able to afford the big ticket price.
mhm.
But my target audience is the luxury client. I like to sell the luxury ships, the luxury um, jets, and just luxury vacations
Okay.
where everything may not be included. You may stay at a resort and you may have to pay for your food versus all inclusive where you pay for the trip and it has all your food, alcohol. But I do sell that also.
Mhm.
But that's not my target audience. I sell that to get myself out there.
Okay. And so over the next 12 months, we want to get you up to at least a steady 9 to 10 perfect clients. Can I ask revenue wise? I mean, what does that project to be revenue wise? What's, over the next 12 months, I want to make sure my business is thriving, pulling in X per year or X per month. What would that start to look like for you?
Well, I have done a business plan, and with doing my business plan, we counted this year as the first year.
Okay.
And my projections for the first year for the revenue that I bring in, we were looking at 65,000,
Okay.
just starting out.
Okay.
But I'm trying to hit that million.
All right. I love that. I love that. And I imagine your margins are fairly decent, I would assume, for a business model like this. So 65 could go very far, but a million goes a lot further at the same
Yes.
time. So let's dig into it. Based on a lot of what you already started sharing, I know, you said differentiation is opportunity, that you are focused on. Social media and marketing in general sound like some opportunities you may be focused on.
Yes.
Let me know, am I hitting in the right areas, or are there other challenges that are in the way of the growth that you're looking for?
Well, funding,
Funding.
but I will say I did apply for the CDFI and I'm going through the process. And just from because when I applied not knowing everything.
Mhm.
So now that I'm learning more, I'm like, ooh, that was that was kind of low. That's not gonna get you too far. So I'm thinking we haven't submitted yet. And I'm thinking about going in to restructure, redo the loan application and everything because of what I see it's going to take to start down the right path. I have so many things that I need to correct. I still pay out of my pocket $250 a month for marketing on Facebook.
Okay.
And I'm going to say the last 3 months, I really haven't got any clients.
Okay. Well, if number one, I'll kind of teach and talk through one of my favorite marketing strategies really quick, Nivita. But following our call today, I'd love to send you a resource. It's a video that kind of goes deeper on the same concept that I'm going to share with you.
Hmm.
But one of the strategies for marketing that I teach to my clients, my small business clients, is something that I call the conversion equation. Okay. And so this is a marketing strategy that basically comes in four pieces or four steps, where the first thing we have to do is interrupt. And so if we're able to get in front of our ideal clients, our target clients, and interrupt their attention, the way that we do that is we have to present to them the problem that they have and they don't want. Then once we interrupt them, we get their attention, we now have to engage them, because we know people's attention spans don't last very long nowadays. So
Exactly.
the way that we engage them is now messaging to them or presenting to them the solution that they want that they don't have. So part one, the problem they have and don't want. Part two is the solution that they want that they don't have. Then part three is that we have to educate them. And so when we educate them, we have to present to them why our business, why the solutions, the packages, the programs we offer, why they are better than the competition, how they will solve the problems that our audience have. And this is where I'll say, Navita, for me, this is a big gap for small business owners. But I think for you specifically, this is how you can start to differentiate your business from any other of the competition that's out there. Because I promise you, no other travel agent is probably out there trying to educate their audience on exactly why my luxury travel business is the best option to meet your needs. So that is both an education, a marketing, and a differentiation strategy all at once. And then the very last component, the fourth component of that, is then what we call the offer. And that's just simply inviting them to take the next step forward.
Okay.
So, what that could start to look like, just off the riff, giving it a quick example. Um, if you, so we are in August of 2023 right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you created a video message that said, "Hey guys, do you want to know the hottest travel locations so far in the year 2023?" Right? Hey guys, are you tired of being stuck at home? The problem they have and don't want? Do you don't know where the hot spots to travel are this year? Well, go ahead, give me your name, your email address, and I have a video series lined up on the top 10 hottest destination spots that are affordable on any budget. And so now that becomes an opportunity. So your messaging is different, your marketing is different. And when they give you their name, their email address, that's your offer. You are going to educate them on the top 10 travel destinations in the world or the US, what have you. But that's the conversion equation that starts to go to work for your messaging. Plus, we all know videos are the way to market nowadays, have a 34% conversion, higher conversion rate than normal marketing. So they're going to get to know you. You would just take, maybe 5 minutes per video. Hey guys, let me tell you about South Beach, Miami. Still one of the top locations in the US today, blah, 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 right? So that's a quick example of one framework for marketing that I think can help. But I mean, that's something I coach with all my clients. But it has a really solid conversion rate for them. That's why we call it the conversion equation. But it does really well. I'll follow up after our call today to send you some more deeper information. But let me stop there and just ask: does that strategy make sense, or what are your thoughts on that?
It makes a lot of sense. And it's funny that you spoke on that because I've been looking, I'm camera shy, I'll say that.
Okay.
But I've been trying to talk myself into it. I've been looking for ring lights. I have a YouTube page. I just never posted anything on there.
Okay.
And so like I said, from my research, I'm like, okay, maybe I need to start making YouTube videos, making little videos to put myself out there. So that is something that's been on my brain.
Okay, and my hope is just to keep it simple to start. Something very simple. You get your phone, and like you said, you don't even have to get a ring light. You could stand right next to a window so the light naturally comes in,
Hmm.
and just break down again. I'm sure, Nivita, you're already an expert. You already know, hey, these are the top travel destinations that all my clients are currently looking at, and just provide that value back to the audience that you would want to attract into your business. But start simple. Don't go too big, especially if you're kind of working your comfort level with it.
Hmm.
But the cool thing now, the reason why I personally love video, and notice we're on video now, your first stage for the show. But we love video because you can obviously leverage the video. You can rip out the audio, and if you wanted to create a small audio series or even a podcast, right? But then you can transcribe everything we're saying right now, or anything that you would say on video. You can transcribe that, and there's your blog series. So now you don't have to pay somebody to do the blog. You can just take the things that you're already doing naturally and turn it into a blog as well. So that's the power of video for your marketing, is that it can be used so many different ways. Um, and are you familiar with Reels, like Facebook Reels or YouTube Reels?
Yes.
All right, that's one of the hottest marketing platforms right now today. So all this AI technology, I'll put some thought into this. There's video. It's video.ai. That's an example of a program that will allow you to take whatever long, let's say if you made a 5 minute long video,
Hmm.
and that would automatically through its AI technologies chop up small reels for you. So again, you could take one piece of content and just leverage it multiple times. But um, so I guess again, let me stop talking there and just get any thoughts from you. But I'm excited about this because I just don't see anybody doing it, especially from a travel piece. And my wife and I love traveling, and nobody's targeted us yet for traveling. So,
Well, I'm here.
well, my wife wants to go to Italy, so we might.
That's hey, I got it for you. You
All
can do
right.
land or cruise, or you can do a cruise where you're able to do both.
All right, perfect. But that strategy, that approach, that sounds like something that could be a way to kind of tiptoe and start wading into the pool for doing some marketing and some videos for you.
Yes. And what was that? What was that AI app you said? What
It's
was it called?
called it's called Video, but it's a funny spelling. Again, I'll put some thought into it, or maybe that could be one of the follow up, takeaways that I send over to you, Navita.
Okay.
But I believe it was called Video.ai, but it's not the normal spelling of video. It's something special.
Okay.
All right. So, but again, I mean that that starts to jump in on some. I think what could be a great opportunity for social media. Here's another quick. I call this kind of a hack, for lack of a better term. But Navita, do you think you could come up with a quick list of the top 10 most frequently asked questions that your customers will have about, hiring a travel consultant like you?
First, what do you do?
Okay.
Are we able to contact you 24 hours a day?
Okay.
What happens? How would we handle situations if we have to cancel? Will we
Hmm.
get a refund? um, why should they work with me? That is one.
Okay.
Because a lot of people say, I've never worked with a travel agent. Why would I work with you? Some people just don't trust.
Mm,
Some people just they don't trust, and you have to work a little harder to prove yourself to them.
sure.
How many was that?
I don't know. That was maybe 7 or 8, just that quick, right? So where I'm going with this strategy is make that quick list, write down those same questions, and then create a 2-minute long video with you recording yourself answering those questions,
Okay.
right? Question number one. Hey guys, Navita Marks here. I'm going through the top 10 questions that I get asked as a travel consultant. Question number one. Hey, what does a travel consultant do? Hey, glad you asked. Let me respond to that and just take, 90 seconds, 2 minutes at the most. And that becomes a video. So that's 10 videos right there in less than an hour.
Okay.
Now that's hack number one. Hack number two, to add on to that same strategy, is then create a list of the top 10 questions that people should ask, but they don't even know they should ask.
Oh,
So, yeah, so here's my frequently asked questions list. But now let me tell you the questions that you should ask when you're having a conversation with a travel expert like me. And I want you to leverage it just like that because, Navita, people love doing business with experts, right? When we go to the doctor, we're looking for the doctor who is the best doctor at whatever they're doing. Or if we go to a tattoo artist, right? Like people don't get tattoos from people who don't have tattoos,
exactly.
right? They want the person with all the tattoos, head to toe, because we perceive like that person is living the lifestyle. So for you, I would make a list, that second list of 10 questions of all the questions you should ask a travel expert, but you haven't asked yet. I'm going to tell you the questions and I'm going to give you the answers. And that same thing, 2-minute video of what those questions. So now that's 20 posts right out the gate.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think about that one?
That's simple.
See, thank you. I would take that. That's like the best compliment I've had today. That's simple. But no, I am a keep it simple guy, honestly. But those I think will get you a lot of good traction, and maybe in total, maybe you're looking at 2, 3 hours of work at most. So that would be my hope for you.
Yeah, I can do that over the weekend on a Saturday morning, get up and have it out the way.
Perfect. And then let me ask you, what are some social media sites that your ideal customers are hanging out on? Is Facebook probably number one, or what social media sites have you targeted?
I target Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram.
Okay, I can see that. Let me start with LinkedIn because I personally love LinkedIn. That's my favorite social media site. What I like about that, because you already said it, hey, I am a luxury travel consultant. Well, on LinkedIn, I mean, are you targeting executives and all of these high powered positioned people? Would that be a targeting group for you on LinkedIn?
It would be. I'm not sure if I've set up because I just set up my LinkedIn page
Okay.
about a month ago.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if I set up my audience in there yet, but I'll go in and double check to make sure because I don't pay for any ads on LinkedIn. I only pay Facebook, but that's something that I would. Now on LinkedIn, I do advertise like the Ritz Carltons
Mhm.
and things like that, suppliers like that.
Okay. Yeah, I would be really, really intrigued. So LinkedIn, you have the power to do two things. You don't necessarily have to, do paid advertisements on LinkedIn. It is a really good platform for organic marketing to folks who are, again, in great positions to afford luxury travel. Paid ads just make the process go that much faster. But what I would encourage you to do, I guess let me ask this question before I make my recommendation. Um, can you describe your sales process? Do you have that mapped out and documented?
I've been thinking about that.
Okay.
And that's one of those things that I've that I've realized I really needed to have in place.
Perfect.
And so I have a couple of steps in place. The initial you find me wherever. I don't like doing any type of business through text message,
Mhm.
email. Now, I don't mind, but our first initial contact, it needs to be either through Zoom or face to face.
Sure.
So, we start off with our initial contact. You tell me a little bit about what it is that you're looking for. I go through, put something together. You decide if you're going to hire me or not. You pay your service fee. And actually I want to get the service fee before I start putting things together because if I put a trip together and say it take me a week to do all the research and then they decide they don't want it,
Sure.
that's a week out of my time that I don't get no commission, no service fee or anything.
Okay. So yeah. So first, my recommendation was going to purely be to create what I like to call a LinkedIn funnel,
Hmm.
which is basically a documented sales process that you're, leveraging LinkedIn to get people from being, maybe not even you're not even connected with them to now you're on the phone with them, and it all took place because of LinkedIn. But maybe to your point, Navita, I would say let's map out your entire sales process and then determine, so hey, if they come from LinkedIn, this is the process they go through. But if they come through Facebook, or if I'm at a networking event, right? So you can have, how we get traffic into the sales process can come a few different ways. But I would want you to have that documented, and it can literally be using something as simple as sticky notes, right?
Okay.
So that would be a starting process to get really, really clear. Like step one, step two. Yep, this is where I'm having, that first consultation, Zoom call or face to face meeting. And then we go from step four, five, etc. And then the other part of what you said also, Navita, is that you could have either a paid consultation meeting so that you're not investing too much time without some compensation. And where that compensation, if they choose to move forward with you, maybe that which they have already paid goes into the entire fee for the rest of the work. So those are a couple of things. I do have, even in my business model, I have free consultations and paid consultations. And it just, I'm willing to invest some time at this price. But when we get to this point, there needs to be some intentional investments made before I continue going down, further the rabbit hole. So just a couple of different models and ideas, but I would say start with documenting your process. Write it down, step one, step two, all the way down to services rendered.
Okay.
Make
I
sense?
wrote that in, I wrote that on my notes.
Nice. Awesome. All right. Let me stop there because I know I could probably keep going, but Navita, based on a lot of what we just talked about, I mean, any of these ideas sound like things that you could commit to, something you could look to implement over the next several weeks?
Yes, I'm gonna work on implementing all of them.
All of the above.
Yeah, it's and the sales process. That's one of those things. Before I'm able to lay down and go to sleep, that's something I can sit in the bed and I'm not disturbed. I'm relaxed, and I'll be able to think more clearly on how I would like for that to look.
Awesome. Yeah, my advice to all my clients, but just really to any business owner, make it very, very easy for people to give you money. So don't make it a complicated process and they got to jump through all these hoops, et cetera. But make it something that is going to be predictable, something reliable. You have confidence that it's going to provide a great experience for your clients, and then you'll be in a good spot. And it goes without saying, Avita, if after you get it laid out, you want to have a follow up call, and I'm happy to look at it and offer any other quick thoughts for you. But yeah, whatever you build, just keep it simple. And yeah, I know for sure that's going to help you get some traction.
Okay.
All right. So, Navita, before we wrap up today, I'd love to end with you just giving our audience some more information about you, your business. Where can they follow you? Where can they connect with you? And then we'll officially sign off.
Okay. Well, you can follow me on Facebook, Sand and Sun Luxury Travel LLC. On LinkedIn, Navita Marks, Sand and Sun Luxury Travel, and Instagram, Sand Sun Luxury Travel. Also, my business phone is 256-993-0608. And I could be reached by email at Navita at sandsunluxurytravel.com. Oh, also my website. It's sandsunluxurytravel.com.
All right, perfect. And Navita, make sure I get all of those links. I will happily post them with the show so folks can just click below and access you, your business, and all that great information. But Navita, thank you again. This was really, really good, really exciting. Just to watch the journey that you're going on with your business. So I really appreciate you.
Well, I thank you for having me.
All right. And to everyone who's plugging in with our conversation today, thank you for making us a part of your day. So until next time, this is Jarvis and Navita wishing you all more leads, more customers, and more profits. Take care, everyone.
Okay, bye bye.